Planning for the future isn't just about wills and estates. It's also about ensuring that you and your loved ones are protected in all aspects of aging. That's where elder law comes into play. From navigating complex healthcare decisions to managing finances and safeguarding assets, elder law covers a wide range of issues that are essential for seniors and their families. In today's video, we'll break down the key components of elder law, explaining how it works with healthcare, with finances, and estate planning. Whether you're planning ahead for yourself or you're assisting a loved one, understanding elder law can make all the difference. So the first thing I want to say is that I don't actually specialize in elder law, though I do have some familiarity with the area. But questions about this come up frequently, so I wanted to provide some general information so you can have a framework if and when you encounter these situations. So what is elder law? In a nutshell, it's financial planning for someone who is elderly and may need to go into skilled nursing care. It really encompasses a lot of other things, by the way, but I'm trying to simplify things here. Now, I want to compare that to financial elder abuse. That is very different. Some people hear elder law and they think about protecting the elderly from financial predators, but that's not it. If you need an attorney who can protect an elderly person from financial predators, you should contact a litigation attorney, since there will most likely be a fight on your hands. So let's talk about elders and housing. So there's a broad spectrum of housing options for the elderly. So an elderly person could be living at home. They could be living in an independent living facility or in residential care, a CCRC, which stands for Continuing Care Retirement Community, or if they really need a lot of help with their activities of daily living, a skilled nursing facility. Medi-Cal, which is California's version of the federal Medicaid system, it only covers assistance on the two ends of the spectrum, on living at home through IHSS and living in a skilled nursing facility through Medi-Cal. IHSS, by the way, is under the Medi-Cal umbrella. And I have a video on IHSS and how to apply where I interview somebody about it. So I encourage you to watch that if you're interested. But really, public benefits, they don't cover any sort of living in the middle, you know, the CCRCs, the assisted living. So really we're talking about those two coverages, and especially the skilled nursing facility. Because if you're in a skilled nursing facility in California, the average cost is about $11,500 per month. I mean, that's so expensive. That could quickly deplete somebody's estate. But if you qualify for Medi-Cal, then the government can pay that for you. So now what about Medicare? Does Medicare cover a stay in a skilled nursing home? Well, it can cover the first 100 days in the home, but you have to be getting better. It's really intended to pay for your time in a skilled nursing facility for your recovery. But once you plateau or you start getting worse, Medicare can even stop covering your stay even before that 100 days are up. And at that point, that's when Medi-Cal can start kicking in. Now, my favorite resource about all things Medi-Cal for the elderly is a website that's put out by California Advocates for Nursing Home Reform, and it's called CANHR, CANHR.org. They cover everything, and they do such a great job of it. So how do you qualify for Medi-Cal if you're in that situation, or you might be in the future? Well, the rules have changed significantly in 2024 in California. So much so, by the way, that some elder law attorneys have actually had to find other fields to practice in, because a lot of the work that elder law attorneys in California used to do, they don't have to do anymore. Now, elder law attorneys in other states, they still have all sorts of work to do because the Medicaid rules in other states have not changed the way they've changed in California.
Hey everyone! If you like my mom's video, like and subscribe.
So here's what happened. Back in 2022, there was still an asset limit of $2,000 for qualifying for Medi-Cal. That means if you wanted to go on Medi-Cal to go into a skilled nursing facility, you could only have up to $2,000 of countable assets in the bank. And if you were married and you had a spouse continuing to live at home, that spouse could only hold on to about $150,000. So it really meant that you had to become poor in order to qualify for Medi-Cal. That $150,000 limit, by the way, is called the Community Spouse Resource Allowance, or a CSRA. Now, there are some exempt assets that the spouse can keep and that even you could keep if you need to go into a nursing home. You know, you could keep your residence, you could keep a burial plot, you could keep one car, you could keep a retirement account if it's making the required minimum distributions. But just about anything above and beyond that point would disqualify you for Medi-Cal. This is horrible, I know. 2022 and before that, people would have to carefully give away their assets in order to qualify for Medi-Cal. There was a very special way of doing this, which I won't go into on this video, but suffice it to say you needed an attorney to figure that out, and that was an elder law attorney. But then in 2022, California passed a law that increased that asset limit to $130,000 per person. And in 2024, the asset limit for Medi-Cal was eliminated completely. Yay! So great. So we're good to go to get on Medi-Cal. There's no asset limit, so anybody could get on Medi-Cal, right? Well, not so fast, because Medi-Cal also looks at your income. Right now, in 2024, Medi-Cal has an income limit of about $1,732 per person. So if your income goes above that amount, you have to pay a share of cost, which is basically a premium to be covered on Medi-Cal, and that share of cost can be very high. I have a video on how to calculate your share of cost and also how to decrease it. But there's some really good news about share of cost. The way that they're calculating it is changing in January 2025, and I have a video on that as well. So let's go back to this income limit. The person going into the skilled nursing facility can have an income of $1,732 a month. And then the at-home spouse, if they're married, the at-home spouse can have an MMMNA, which stands for Minimum Monthly Maintenance Needs Allowance. What a mouthful, huh? And that income amount in 2024 is $3,854 a month. So it's still not that much. Now, elder law attorneys can actually go to court and increase the MMMNA amount so that the at-home spouse can keep more of their income instead of paying it to Medi-Cal as part of the share of cost. Now, what if you're watching this and maybe you have parents who are kind of failing in their health? They're not in a skilled nursing home yet, but they might need to be in the future. What are some steps you can take right now to really prepare for these things? Well, one step is you can have them sign a durable power of attorney for finances. So this means if your parent becomes incapacitated and they just don't have the capacity to sign anything, you can sign on their behalf. You can sign to enter them into a facility. You can sign to help apply for them for Medi-Cal if they need to. You can take all those steps if you're their agent. You can also start looking into housing options for your parents. Most of us would want to take care of our parents if they're in this situation, but a lot of times we simply can't. If people need all the help for their activities of daily living, or ADLs, that can be really overwhelming, and it's super expensive to try to keep somebody at home. So you might want to look into housing options now, see which housing options might be available for your parents, because you'll want to line this up beforehand. And then when a bed becomes available in the future, if your parents need it at that point, then you can help line them up. Now, a lot of times people get these we call them Medi-Cal beds. People are allowed to go into these beds when they're released from the hospital. So that might be the time that they get that placement. So hopefully that overview of elder law was interesting to you. You might want to learn more about how these Medi-Cal rules in California have changed so drastically. If so, I suggest that you watch my video called Medi-Cal Updates for 2024, What You Need to Know. Now, I do want to mention that we do not do public benefits applications at our firm. We specialize in estate planning, special needs planning, and trust administration. And typically we don't assist clients where one spouse perhaps doesn't have capacity. We would refer that out, but we're happy to provide referrals if that's the situation that you have. Thank you.
Hello everyone. If you liked my mom's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all next time.